All right, folks, welcome to the Let's Go Fishing show. And this gentleman sitting beside me is a representative of the Midway High School Bass Club, and we're going to cut to the three gentlemen that's over here at the other table here in just a second. Randy, glad to have you, man.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Good
sir.
to be here.
Glad to have you and the three young gentlemen over there at the other table. But before we get to that, I got to say hello to my dad, and he'll get mad and he'll whip Mike if I don't. And so make sure he's watching the show, and want to say hello to Polly and Bill up in Clinton. They're watching tonight. Bill was kind of fishing today, and he went out to eat with Polly, so he's not going to make the show tonight, but we'll say hello to him and Polly anyway, and we'll get on with the show. Folks, we've got the High School Bass Club, 3 of the members, and Randy is going to tell us all about the High School Bass Club and what it takes to get one started, what they have to go through, what problems they have, and we're going to talk to these 3 gentlemen over here about what they've accomplished, and it sounds like they've done pretty well. So, Randy, I'm going to turn it over to you and just kind of give us the rundown on how this thing got started and how you got where you're at and they got where they're at.
Sure. We began our Midway Bass Club 3 years ago, and it really started by taking one young man to the East Tennessee Bass Show, and that would be Tyler. I think that really lit a fire under Tyler to get serious into bass fishing. And through Tyler's efforts of really wanting to form a team, and Tyler's parents being very active, and Alicia, I got to do a little shout out for Alicia. She is so helpful in everything we do within our bass club.
Right.
But because Tyler was really interested, we decided we're going to give it a shot. And we put it out to the middle school and the high school that if they were interested in being a part of the bass club, that we'd try it and see how many were interested. And the first few years, we had maybe a dozen members. This year, we have 14 members on our bass club. We have 3 in middle school who are very active, and we have 11 high school anglers this year. And as far as the process, of course, you have to register through Bass, and that is a $25 fee per boy. And then you have to go out and you have to get some sponsors.
Right.
And you'll be able to see in a minute the boys' shirts with all our sponsors from last year. We have ordered our jerseys for this year, but our community, although the Midway community is very small, we have tremendous support within the community on getting sponsors. Matter of fact, we have 21 sponsors.
Oh, man, that's great.
And that's from the Midway community, the Kingston community, so we've been very fortunate in that effect. And we have great parents, and our parents act as boat captains also.
Right.
And not that we couldn't use more parents and more involvement and more boat captains, but we are tickled to death with the support that we have within our parents. And 14 now, Midway's not a very big school, so we feel very fortunate to be off the ground with our bass club.
Man, that sounds great. That's why I wanted you guys to come over and be on the show with me, because every few weeks I mention the high school. Most of the time it's every week something about the high school bass clubs, you know, and how these guys are performing, and you know what's going on with them, and having the coaches and the boat representation that they have to have, and that kind of thing. So I always put a plea out for any retirees or something that might want to provide a boat and spend a day on the water with 2 young people.
That's right.
You guys would be they'd be more than welcome.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Guarantee it. So. You know, it's amazing to me that you know, I tell these people that these colleges recruit these fishermen just like they do ball players.
They do.
Yes, sir.
They do.
they look and see who's the winners and what you won, what you're participating in, and then they go after them.
Yep.
You know, they want the best of the best, and,
Yep.
and don't blame them because it makes their their college team a lot stronger.
That's right. And Tyler has already been in contact with Tennessee Tech, and he will be on Tennessee Tech's bass team starting next year.
Hey, congratulations. That's wonderful. Really is. That's great. Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to, we'll cut to them guys, and they've got a microphone over there, and you guys introduce yourself to the audience if you don't care, and let's pass the mic around, and we'll go that route.
I'm Tyler Thompson. I'm the Bass Club president. I've qualified for the national championship. Me and Hunter, we came in third.
Well, hold on a second. We got a problem. Do what? Not getting any sound. Now then, try it now. Give us a test.
Testing.
Did you get it? Okay. Cut back to us. They're going to come in here and fix your problem, then we'll put you guys on. We must have a bad connection or something. But anyway, folks, we'll get that fixed up and get these guys on the microphone here and see what we got. While they're testing their mic out, I won't mention a couple little things right here. When we get things started here, just give me 1 second. One of my sponsors, Reynolds Racing and Marine, they're folks, I wanted to let you all know they got a special deal on the they got 2 Phoenix boats on the yard down there, and Glenn said he'd make somebody a great deal on either one of them. One of them's a 721 with a 250 Pro XS. The other one's a 819 with a 200. These things are loaded down with the accessories and all that kind of stuff. So if you're holding off looking for a boat, go by and check those Phoenix boats out, and talk to him about that special pricing. And then I shot some film on 2 express boats that he's got down there, a 24-footer. That thing is massive. I mean, you could take the whole family.
That's a big one.
It is unreal, and it is a nice-looking rig. And I've got film on it, but we may not get to show it tonight. And the other boat is a 20-footer center console. Both of these express boats are center console and loaded with room and that kind of thing. The 20-footer doesn't have an engine on it, and I don't know if that's because they didn't know what kind to put on it or what, but it's sitting there without an engine. They got aluminum trailers, rod lockers, all kinds of storage, and that kind of thing. The other thing is they don't have carpet in them. So just get down to Reynolds Racing Marine, check those out, and I think you'll be well impressed on that. And the side-by-sides, they got a special deal on the side-by-sides down there. It was the Otis, the 2-seaters, the 4-seaters, and the 5-seater. You might want to check those out if you're interested in that. Are we ready now to go with the mic?
Testing.
Got it? Now, Tyler.
I'm Tyler Thompson. I'm the president of the Bass Club. Hunter and I, we qualified for the national championship by finishing 3rd in the state championship.
I'm Hunter Mims, and I've qualified for nationals because of finishing 3rd place in the state tournament.
I'm Caleb Burton. I've been a member for 3 years. But we've done pretty good.
All right, guys, that sounds great. Tell me about how do you all fish your tournaments, and do you fish them in the fall or in the spring? What is your tournament schedule?
Well, the past 2 years, our trails have only went through the spring. And then this year they've extended it to the fall, and there's 3 tournaments in the fall, and then there's 3 in the spring. And me and Caleb, we're fishing one trail that I think it has the Battle of Chickamauga in it, and that's the big tournament. And then hopefully from that we can qualify for nationals.
All right, man, that sounds great. So I take it you guys living down in the Midway section. You're right down there on the center of the lake in Watts Bar, and it's not that far on down to the Chick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you fish down there a lot.
Oh yeah. Anytime I get to go down to the Chick, I mean it's an unreal lake.
Yeah.
Numbers you catch and the quality of fish you catch down there, it's it's pretty good.
Sounds great. Randy, tell us the tournament schedule. You've got that there in front of you, and I won't have to write that down. What is the tournament schedule for this year?
Well, so far we've had 7 tournament events, some of which are county tournaments and others are club tournaments. But then Next Generation hosts tournaments also, which you're going to have a lot more boats. It's a bigger tournament schedule. November 4th and 5th, they'll be fishing Cherokee, and Tyler's going to be fishing Cherokee. We'll land in Ashley. December 2nd and 3rd will be at Norris. March 24th, 25th, Fort Loudon. April 14th, 15th, we're going to be fishing our water, Watts Bar.
Right.
May 5th and 6th, Fort Loudon, and the championship's going to be on Cherokee May 27th and 28th. And I believe it's $40 per boat, $20 per angler in order to fish those events. So there's a lot of opportunity. And our 7 events that I covered, that is just fall tournaments. We will have a spring schedule also, which will be more county tournaments, club tournaments, and things like that. And one thing I want to mention is, you know, we've only been going for 3 years. And our first big event was on Chickamauga. And I don't think we knew what we were getting into, but we went down. Well, let me say, the weather the week prior to that tournament was probably in the 50s, and we fished at the end of March.
Right.
That was tournament day, end of March. It's in the 50s all week. We've never fished a big tournament as a club. We show up that morning, cold front sets in. It is 24 degrees outside, 150 boats in this high school tournament. And so that was an eye-opener, just getting your boat in the water. And, of course, depending on your flight number, your boat may have been in the water by 5 a.m. waiting for good light.
Right.
So 150 boats getting in, and you're taking off, and it's 24 degrees. When you get to your first stop, you are so cold, it's hard to hold a rod in your hand.
Right.
Yeah, and the amazing thing, I believe that first tournament, and these are high school anglers, it was over 25 pounds to win that tournament. And last year, I believe it was close to 30 pounds, high school, on Chickamauga to win that tournament. Yes, yes. So, as Tyler said, Chickamauga is unbelievable, but that was a good introduction into high school bass fishing.
Right.
I mean, it's big time. State of Tennessee, it is very big, and we're grateful for it, for the opportunities for these young men.
Right. Well, it just leads on to I mean, if you go down the list of the fishermen that came out of this area, I'm going to mention, I've already mentioned that guy's name once before, but I'm going to mention another guy, Bill Nichols, the guy who I've known in my childhood, is in that elite group of people that fished everywhere in all kinds of tournaments. Bill's been a guide on Norris and Dale Hollow, and he knows a lot of people, and I put him right in there with Brad Knight and Wesley Strader and just on, you know, the people from this area. So these boys is, you know, they know what's coming up, and they're looking forward to it. You know? And Jacob Lee, you know, he started out in the high school, which he started out just like all the rest of us with their family, but then he's, you know, was in the high school club, and Jacob's doing great and that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys on TV one of these days.
Yeah.
You know.
And we've had the opportunity to hear Ott Defoe and Wesley Strader and Andy Morgan, and we've heard all these professional fishermen that have succeeded so much in their careers.
Yeah.
So what a thrill
It is.
for these young guys to hear from them and
Right.
try and get some tips.
There we go. That's exactly right. Let's see. You mentioned something there and made me think of something else. Then we're going to get to these guys over here and let them talk for a little while. But what is the biggest problem you all have, and how do you match up your club tournaments or just and do you all compete against other schools?
We do. When we have county tournaments, we'll compete mostly against Roane County, Oliver Springs, Wartburg, and ourselves. And occasionally we'll have different schools represented, but those are the primary schools that we fish against in county tournaments. And it's all our county tournaments are held on Watts Bar, different locations of Watts Bar that we splash from. And then we'll have just tournaments within our club also. So we do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
County tournaments, club tournaments, and then we'll go to the big tournaments, the next generation, the Bass Trail. So we will fish some big ones. They have the opportunity. And we have 14 team members, and I told you we had 3 middle schoolers. We also have one young man who goes to school at Meigs County. They do not have a fishing team, so he's joined our fishing team. So we're not just Midway. We include Meigs County, and we welcome anyone from Meigs County or anyone who doesn't have a fishing team in our area. Come on, we'll let you jump in.
Well,
I mean, it's just an opportunity for young men to fish.
Right. I agree with that 100%. That's wonderful. Okay, we're going to cut to Tyler and Hunter and Caleb there and let you guys tell us about yourself and what got you started in fishing and why you love it so much.
I'm Hunter, and what got me started fishing was going out with my dad on the little John boat we used to have, and taking me bluegill fishing, and every once in a while I'd catch a bass. But then he decided to get a bass boat one day, and he took me out on that, and that's what really got me hooked. That I've just been the little me, just going fishing with my dad, making a lot of memories. That's what really got me here today.
All right.
Well, I've fished ever since as long as I can remember, going bluegill fishing with my papaw, going with my dad. But really, what got me started in bass fishing was when me and Coach Steele went to that fishing show. I found an interest. A guy at my church, Curtis Moore, I talked to him about him taking me fishing because I knew he's pretty good. He goes down to Florida all the time. And he's really been a big mentor for me fishing, taught me a lot. Some of the biggest influences in my life have been my boat captains. And if anybody wants to be a boat captain, there's plenty anglers that would love to be on your boat.
I grew up fishing a lot with my parents and stuff, just like everybody else, but never really got into bass fishing until Tyler decided to. You know, I'm only a week older, so we've kind of done everything together growing up. And I was like, man, that sounds fun, so I thought I'd give it a try. Well, I never fished any tournaments until the Battle of the Chick Randy was talking about earlier. And when we got up there that morning, it was 25 degrees or so on that water, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can handle this 3 more years. And, you know, just throughout that whole day, just fishing on that water and getting to know other anglers from other schools and just competing, doing what we love, is a pretty fun experience. And ever since that day, I've been pretty hooked on it.
Good enough, guys. I'll tell you what, hey, I still get the, I'm the same way. I grew up fishing, and, you know, I can tell you stories I've told everybody before. You know, my brother Mike and we paddled the boat. We had a little old 12-foot plywood boat, and you had a 10-horsepower motor on it, and it went too fast to fish with, so you had to paddle everywhere you went, and we'd go a lot and paddle my dad and my mom around, and, and that kind of thing. And then when I was 8 in '63, bought a little old Johnson, and we put it on there. Well, me and Mike started fishing then, and we've been fishing ever since. And we got into tournament fishing when I was still in high school, and Mike was still in high school, and it just I always get the. It's like a race car driver, I guess, that adrenaline rush, waiting on them to say go, you know, and I'm sitting out there and I'm shaking, and my foot's jumping up and down on the throttle paddle, you know, just waiting on my turn to go. So I know the feeling, and I hope I never lose it. I really do, and I hope you guys never lose it either, because it does. It's something in your blood, you know. Once you're hooked, man. Yeah. That's all I can say. But you know, I'm just tickled to death for you young people. I just wish they had something like this when I went to school. I might have made better than these. Oh, Lordy. Anyway, you know, it's great. I'm going to cut back to you guys, and let's talk about your favorite lure, your favorite lake, how you like to fish, you know, and that kind of thing. Just take it one at a time and give us a little insight on yourself and how you like to fish and that kind of thing.
Well, me personally, I like throwing anything really Texas rigged. I like fishing slow and like where I can feel the bottom. I like throwing big worms because when a fish hits it, it's usually a big fish. But flipping and pitching is my favorite thing, really. Around wood and rocks and docks. It's a big adrenaline rush not knowing what's under that dock or piece of wood. And when it hits it, it's just the biggest adrenaline rush possible.
Type of fishing I like to do varies on the lake. Chickamauga, certain times of the year I love going back into the back of those feeder creeks and pitching a jig up in the brush. And lately I've been wearing them out on this War Eagle finesse spinnerbait with the Oklahoma blade. That Oklahoma blade really seems to be the thing that gets in the bite. My dad and one of his friends from work, they went out and they was both throwing the War Eagle spinner baits. One had a double willow, and Dad was throwing this one like I showed, and he was wearing them out, and that guy couldn't catch one on it. And so that Colorado blade, it's really seemed to work as of late. As far as my favorite lake to fish, it's got to be Chickamauga. I mean, I went up there on a tournament 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we wore them out but didn't catch a keeper, and that's almost unheard of on Chickamauga. That's the first day I've been there and not caught a keeper, and I'll look at it.
I'd have to say my favorite type of fishing would probably be like hunter. I like to fish slow. I got these crazy leg chigger crawls. I like to Texas rig those and like find any kind of brush or like rocks or anything really like that and Texas rig it, and then just work it slow around those edges and stuff. And I like being able to feel the bottom, and you know when you feel something hit it, it's going to take it. So I say probably doing that and fishing slow is probably my favorite type of fishing. And probably my favorite lake would probably have to be Chickamauga also. It's got a very good quality fish in it. I haven't really personally caught any big uns on there, but I've heard some and saw some from tournaments we've been in, and hopefully this year it's our turn to bring in a few of those 10-pounders, but I'd probably have to say that's my favorite lake so far to fish on.
All right. You guys, you brought some reel and rods with you. You want to tell us a little bit about your fishing tackle? What's your preference?
You go first, or I'll go first. I brought with me. This is a Big Bear rods, and it's a 7-foot, 3/4 heavy. I'm actually a part of their pro staff. I think they're out of Texas, and I've been using it as my topwater rod lately. Been throwing a frog on the grass mats with it, and been catching some good ones doing that. Fishing a frog's probably one of my favorite things to do.
Right.
This is my Mims custom rod, the rods that my dad make, and I'm throwing a Texas rigged crawl tube.
Mm-hmm.
And just working it slow around those rocks or brush or whatever they're really hitting on that day. But I also have my 711 Mims custom rods, fiberglass tip with a square bill on it. I just like ripping the square bill through just flats because nothing else is like hitting it. It's just so hard and it's fun.
All right. Does all the rest of the guys in the club, Hunter, they after you about getting them rods too?
Yeah, a couple people are. It's a business right out of the garage, so.
Dad keeps you supplied up, I guess.
Yeah, he tries.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's a good outlet right there for sure. Folks, the phones are up. If you've got a question for these young gentlemen over here, don't hesitate to call. They'd be glad to answer your question. So if you want to call us, the number's on the screen. And if you got a good question for them, I'm sure they'd like to hear from you. How do you guys pair up for an in-house tournament? I mean, how do you do that?
Well, normally I don't set the pairings. They kind of end up doing it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And you can mix and match county tournaments and inter-club tournaments. It does not have to be the same two, but when you go to a Next Generation tournament or a Bass Nation tournament,
Mm-hmm.
you have got to have the same two anglers every time because it's a point system.
Right.
So it's got to be the same two fishing all the time. And Tyler is going with Landon. Caleb just got a cast removed recently, and he was on the disabled list for a while.
Uh-huh.
So he couldn't fish with us for a few tournaments, but I did just notice he's cast-free now. Now, one thing about the tournaments, and I need to mention, a lot of the tournaments, well, all of the tournaments are on Saturdays, and all of these boys played high school football. So many a tournament, they would get done playing
Mm-hmm.
on the road at Jellicoe or Oneida and get in at the wee hours of the morning and show up, and that boat's got to be in the water at good light.
Yeah.
So you got to. That's really a testament to them for how much they love to bass fish,
Mm-hmm.
because they'd be fishing on very little sleep, and normally we'll splash at good light, and we'll weigh in anywhere between 2 and 3 o'clock, depending on the tournament. So they're on the water all day.
Mm-hmm.
After they've played football the night before and are just absolutely physically wore out, but they love fishing. They
Right.
love to fish.
Yeah.
In the spring, hopefully it'll be a little bit better. They won't have those football games on Friday night. I'm sure they'll greatly miss those games, but their opportunity, maybe they'll be a little bit more wide-eyed
Right.
when we fish in the spring. We'll wait and see.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Both that football half the night, and then get you know, if you got 2 hours sleep or 3,
Yeah.
you're doing good. Back up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, I mean, there's an excitement to fish. So, you know, you play football, and then your mind shifts to fishing.
Right.
So, I mean, it's exciting to get out on the boat and to splash and go find some fish. So that's adrenaline.
I hear you. How do you all go about boats? I mean, I'd like for people out here watching the show tonight, you know, hear from you guys how hard it is to get enough boats for everybody to be able to fish. Or is it that hard?
It is that hard.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of parents who end up going as boat captains, but sometimes based on schedule, they may end up working weekends
Right.
with rotating shifts and having to work weekends. So there may be anglers left home out of the 14 that we have, which would be 7 boats. So we are always in need of boat captains. Yes. And as Tyler said, you know, some of his greatest mentors in life have been those boat captains.
Right.
So it would really be beneficial if we can get some men or women who love to fish to get out there and and not just be a captain, but be a mentor. I mean, you're a lifelong mentor for these young people, and that's something they're going to remember the rest of their lives. And we never want to leave someone at home who wants to fish.
Right.
And it has worked out that's happened before. But, you know, we do have great parents, and when they are available, you always see them out on the water with those kids. So that's great. And they do a great job. You know, they have great patience and are great teachers to assist them along the way.
What's the requirements to be a boat captain, Randy?
Well, you have to have your boat insurance. Your boat has to be legal according to Bass. So you got to have 3 seats.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you have to have the life jackets. You must have a kill switch. You have to have a working live well. And I believe that's it off the top of my head.
I'm thinking you're right.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to refresh my memory.
Yes. So those are the requirements to fish any tournament.
Right.
So if you have that, and it doesn't matter if it's 115 horse or 250. I mean, we just want to get them out on the water.
Right. Those few requirements: the kill switch, the functioning live well, and it's got to be separated live wells. You know, naturally. I would think. Or do you all separate your fish, or you just weigh the 5 in? You separate them in. Say okay. So a live well, kill switch,
seating capacity
for 3, and the all the safety equipment.
Right, you have to have all safety equipment. Yes. You have to be 18 to be a boat captain. And that just changed this year. It was 21 until this past year.
Right.
So we actually have Tyler just turned 18, so he can legally, by tournament rules, be a boat captain and an angler. So that does help. And we have a few others. I think LA's 18, Caleb's 18, so we have a few. So that's very helpful.
I guarantee it. Yes. Yeah, without a doubt. But for you people that's listening that would like to get involved in this, you know, that's not a lot of requirements. If you've got a boat, you've got it insured already, and more than likely you have I know you have all the safety equipment that TWRA requires, and so you're just looking for kill switch, and most new engines anymore, every one of them's got one.
Right.
Very few don't have, and so, you know, you probably meet the requirements. So if you can help these people out, man, it'd sure be a blessing to them, I'm sure, and probably to you too once you got involved with them.
Yeah.
So,
once you do it for one Saturday, I think you'd fall in love with the kids and want to come back.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm counting on too. And my grandson, he's in the middle school, and they've applied for his okay to fish, and I guess you'd call it that, with TSSAA. And hopefully he'll get to fish this coming spring. So I'm going to become a boat captain.
Great. You'll love it.
Yeah.
You'll love it. Unless it's 24 degrees on the water and you blast off.
Right. I hear you.
Layer up.
Yeah. So anyway, we would like to see some people get involved with these guys and you know, help them out and that kind of thing. When you run into, and you say you had 7 boats pretty much every time, so all 14 of your people get to fish?
Normally
get to fish.
Yes, on
great.
a normal tournament. And most of our boat captains are dads,
right,
that are into bass fishing, so that works out real well.
Yeah.
So
that's wonderful.
Now it's helpful to have a few out there that, in worst case scenario, that we could pick up phone and say, hey, we need you this weekend. So
yeah.
So
you never, one of the 7 could have a problem and not be able to make it, and you don't want to leave players, teammates,
on the bench,
on the bench, and on the bench.
That's right.
You want them in the game.
And we have 14 now, and we're hopeful that it continues to grow.
Yeah.
So the more it grows, the more boats we're going to need.
Right.
So,
I hear you, man. That sounds good.
It is.
You guys are doing great. and that's why I wanted to get you over here on the show, and we thought we was going to have a couple of more with you tonight. One of them got sick.
One of them got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's at home.
That's good. Hopefully he's getting to watch.
Yeah, hope so.
Hopefully he's getting to watch. Anything you guys want to add? I mean, you know, I can't tell how much time we got left. Looks like about 20-some minutes. But anyway, we'd like for you guys to give us some, you know, what you want to tell us, talk about, what would help you guys more than anything in the world.
Tell them about your experience at Kentucky Lake, what you took from that, going there.
Yeah. He'll cut to you there in just a second. There you go.
Kentucky Lake was really, really big. It was big water, big waves, fast boats, really muddy. You try to run somewhere that looked pretty close, but it took you 30 minutes to get there. But you tried to get somewhere, and someone was usually in your spot, or you couldn't fish it because the water was so choppy. Sometimes the trolling motor was even coming out of the water because of the waves. But it's really hot, too.
They fished it in August.
Early
August.
Nothing was really biting. And when we got bites, they were usually 14 3/4. That's what most of our fish were. We caught fish every day, but they were usually short. And Tyler can tell you more about it, too.
Well, the experience of going up there was it was amazing. We had that pre-tournament meeting. They loaded us down with all kinds of stuff. Livingston, crankbaits, jerkbaits, all that. As far as the tournament, it was a step up above the Battle of Chick. The Battle of Chick, they have all these lights. It's at night, or it's not at night, but they have all the lights. You're shining on you. You're up there with your fish. I think me and Hunter, we placed like 100 something out of 119th out of 175. We weighed in every day, so that was better than zeroing. But yeah, we just never been on that lake before. Tried our best. Stayed in Todd Hollowell's, one of his dad's cabin things. Fished, then came home, played video games, went to sleep. It was the life.
Oh man, that's wonderful. Caleb, what about you? You had anything going on like that, or was you with them?
I've been with them on a lot of road trips, like to different lakes and stuff, but I wasn't able to make it to the Nationals. We didn't get to qualify for that one, but one of the ones I remember most is Tim's Ford Lake out on the other side of Chattanooga. It was pretty fun. We stayed at the state park, got one of them cabins, and stayed there, and just getting to spend the weekend and pre-fishing and fishing the tournament and stuff with everybody was pretty fun. And just a little story. While we were fishing, it was pretty cold there too that morning, and it's not a very big lake, but running down the lake, you know, on that water is pretty cold. So we were just running down the lake trying to find a spot to fish, and I just couldn't. My face couldn't take it anymore because of that wind. So I told Brian he'd have to stop, and I saw like a bridge with some rocks around it. I was like, well, we'll hit that. So wound up being that's where we caught all our fish at tournament, was that spot. So anytime I get cold now, we just know to stop.
Okay, so yeah, you're using that as a, hey, that's an omen for me to be fishing right here. Let's pull in. That sounds good. That's a great story. That's all right. All right. What about, Randy, you got something? You guys can be reached on Facebook?
We can. You can follow us on Facebook. Midway High School Bass Club is what we're under. And I know when Tyler and Hunter were getting ready to fish Nationals, all the likes that appeared on Facebook, it was unbelievable. How many from the community follow us on Facebook, Midway High School Bass Club, and Everyone, take a look at us on.
Keep up with you.
Yeah, on Facebook. It's out there. So and we appreciate the support from the community, and it's great.
Yeah,
we're really blessed in that. And you know where we're at Midway. Not only do we fish Watts Bar is our home lake, but you can go an hour in about any direction.
Right.
And you can fish about any style.
I agree.
To bass fish.
Yeah.
You can go to Chickamauga, you can go to Cherokee, you can go to Norris, you can go to Fort Lauderdale. We are really blessed in the area that we live because,
no doubt.
You know, you can throw out a jerkbait or a jig or a cranking rod, or
right.
It's all available.
Yes, sir. That's like Andy Morgan and Ott DeVoe and those guys. That's what makes them so tough, because we've got such a diverse area that we live in. You take a 100-mile radius here. You can be at Fontana, you can be at Del Holla, you can be at Cherokee, Chickamauga. I mean, we're just, you know, you go from Norris Lake up here, 200 foot of water, clear as drinking water, down to Watts Bar and Chickamauga, and sometimes it's so muddy you can't see you bait in the water.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
And shallow.
Yeah.
You know, average depth about 5 feet.
Yeah, and this summer it's been real bad.
Yeah.
We just haven't had any rain.
So, you know, that's what makes it. So, you guys got something to add to that? Well, you want to thank some people? Hey, you got the mic. Help yourself.
We'd like to thank all the people that helped us raise some money for the Kentucky Lake, because we needed some spending money to buy some baits, gas money. It was a long haul. But we just took odd jobs here and there trying to get a little cash, but it really helped us, so thank everybody.
I gotta thank my mom and dad, Hunter's parents. They really helped. I mean, it wouldn't have been possible without them. You know, they got the cabin. They helped us out a lot. I'm grateful they did that, because it was probably one of the best experiences I've had in my life. Going up there, 175 of the best high school anglers in the country, and talking to them, you know, making friends. It was a good time.
All right, man. That sounds like a good deal. What about you, Caleb? You got some people you want to thank, I'm sure.
I'd like to thank my mom and dad too, and Brian, Tyler's dad. You know, he's helped us like captaining and stuff, and taught me a lot about fishing and stuff. And I'd just like to thank Randy for giving us the opportunity to make this fishing team and helping us get started, because I really love this sport that's growing to be, and hopefully I'll carry over into the collegiate bass, so hopefully that'll come a dream come true.
That sounds great, guys. It really does, man. I know exactly what you're saying. You can't do it without some help, and that's wonderful. And those baits and stuff are expensive. Yeah, they're real expensive. I tell you what, it's unreal. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little commercial break, and we'll be back here in just about a minute or two, and we'll get back with these gentlemen and one more time and pick their brains, see what I want to ask them about the electronics, what they know about electronics. Yeah, so put them on the spot here. So, Dylan, if you don't care, take us to a break, will you?
You may not know the name, but you definitely know the taste. Our homemade fudge is shipped all over the country. Its quality is unmatched, and it's made right here in Oliver Springs. But you don't have to travel all over to enjoy it. You can get it right here at our retail store, Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts. The highest quality fudge in a countless variety of flavors. And we also carry a variety of candy and unique gifts for you to enjoy. Come enjoy the taste you have loved for years at Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts in Oliver Springs, a division of Country Fresh Food.
Drownings are a leading cause of death for young children. Simple safety steps are the best way to prevent these tragedies. Make sure kids learn how to swim. Always watch them in and around water. Properly fence all pools and stay away from drains. Consider the steps you take, then add a few more. Because you never know which pool safety step will save a life until it does. Simple steps save lives. To learn some new ones, visit poolsafely.gov.
Rodney and Kay Harback invite everyone to come on over to Rome Street Grill to experience a pleasant dining experience with them. Rodney knows how important it is to get folks back to work after lunch, so they have a speedy lunch at Rome Street Grill. They will get you in and get you out. Every day they have a special at lunch or order off the menu. So go visit the fine folks at Rome Street Grill. Call them at 865-285-6025. That's Rome Street Grill, across from Jerry Duncan Ford in Harriman. Call them at 865-285-6025.
All right, I think we're back. While we were gone, I said we was going to pick their brain on this electronics and see if they're all up to date on what's going on new with electronics. Guys, kick your mic on over there, and we'll cut to you and tell us what your experience has been with electronics. I mean, it's a big thing this day and time in fishing.
Electronics isn't nothing big with me. I just, whatever I see looks good, we usually fish it. But we have some stuff where we can see like ledges and structure scan, and that really helps when that's what you're targeting. But we just look for brush and just rocks, and the split between wood and rocks is what we fish a lot. Tyler can tell you something about it.
Oh, I'm not a guru on the electronics. Me and my dad, and we bought our first side imaging Garmin. I forgot the exact name of it, but I've been fooling around with it. Finally started right there at the end of summer. Started figuring it out, seeing the ledges, the breaks in the creek channels, fishing it. Other than that, I'm still learning.
All right.
That's a big thing.
What about you, Caleb? Anything on electronics?
I'm not really a big electronics man either. Half the time I gotta ask them if it's even a fish or not that comes up on. But, yeah, I'm like Hunter. I just kind of look at the natural scenery around it and seeing what kind of like the landforms that go into the water, like if it's like a cliff or like rocks that come in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a sight fisherman than electronics. I'm like to see where I'm at and what I'm doing. So.
All right. Nothing wrong with that. I just thought I'd quiz you guys there and see how the deal is. Us older people like myself, when it comes to this electronics, we're lost, and you guys have grew up around everything electronic,
Sure.
so I figured it'd be real simple for you, and that's why I wanted to ask you the question, I did, and to see what you responded to. But yeah, you're like me. If I see a brush pile, I want to fish it. If I see a dock, I want to fish it, and that kind of stuff, and
Yeah, it's the John Cox mindset. If it looks good. Fish it.
That's right. Exactly right. Yeah, you get run up on the bridge there, and the current's coming by that pylon. Look out. So, but that's great. Electronics is a big thing anymore with these pros, and it's just you see a guy's boat and he's got 3 big 12-inch TVs on it, and what in the world's going on? So we'll see who we got here. Hello, caller.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Tony.
I was going to tell you, I went there Sunday and caught 21, but I had 9 keepers, and I thought I seen Mike go through one down there.
Yeah. You saw Mike. You did. He was down there.
He did any good?
What did you do? He had 9 keepers, he said. Caught probably 35, had 9 keepers. And you had how many?
Had 9 keepers and caught 21.
Okay, 9 and caught 21. And Mike had 9 and probably caught 30 or more. Okay. But a lot of his was catfish, I believe.
I had some bluegill.
Okay. Hey, that's good to hear from you, Tony, and appreciate that fishing report. Man, we need to keep up with them crappie because they're going to be good to eat right here shortly. which they always are, but they're going to be even better.
I wish they had their tournaments week back in school, like them boys get to fish and shoot.
Yeah, boy, I do too. You reckon we could enroll in school again?
Try to.
I'm all for it. Oh, Lordy. I probably wouldn't pass, but I'd like to enroll.
Good luck. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Tony. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Bye.
All right, see you. Okay, and I know you guys are aware of the FLW that was on Norris there week before last. I went up on Friday and shot a little film for the show, and we haven't showed it yet, but, you know, David Williams from Madden, North Carolina won the thing, and James Watson was second, and then we had Jason Lambert from down Pickwick. He's a Tennessee boy. I got to talk to him for a minute. He was in third, and then Derek Blake. I've known Derek when he was like you guys, and I know you know Derek Blake. And Derek's a good fisherman. And Wesley Strader, known Wesley for a long time, and his dad, Bud. So. And Sean, they're all good fishermen, and Wesley's doing great in the fishing world, and glad to see that. And Bill Dunn from up Maynardville. I've fished against Bill a few times at Norris. You know, he's a good Norris fisherman. But that was the top six, and it's good to see those people in there. You know, right in that thing. It was real close. You know, the total weights is just real close. So. It was good to see them do as good as they did, and but that just goes to show you, you know, we got some heck of a fishermen in this area, you know, and you guys are just fixing to become some of them. So we're real pleased and tickled to death for you on that for sure. Got a tournament here coming up, a Wildcat. You know, it's really not. It's a Phoenix boat tournament. James Knuckles is the director, and I know you guys probably heard of James. It's Volunteer Bass Trail, and he's going to be on Norris November the 12th at Point 19. And it's 100% payback, and they're paying the place for every 5 boats, so that's about the norm of what's going on there. And then the Heartland Anglers, they've got their fall schedule out, and they're the only one that it is out. Their tournament is going to be at Point 19 this coming Saturday, which is November the 5th, and they go from 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and that's at Point 19, Division 17, Heartland Anglers, their first fall tournament up at Norris. There'll probably be several more come up before the things get started good, but this was the only schedule that was out at this time. And they fish every other week, the 5th, the 12th, the 26th, and then they go into December, the 10th, the 17th, then they go into January, the 7th and the 14th. So, you know, you guys probably fish a few Wildcats along, you know, when you can get in them, I guess, I'm sure. Give us the tournament schedule. What's coming up for you guys here in the next few days? And you got some people you want to talk about too, Randy.
I do. Well, like we mentioned earlier, Next Generation Tournament will be November 4th and 5th this weekend on Cherokee. And the last event for this year, Next Generation Tournament, will be at Norris on December 2nd and 3rd. So that's yet this year. And then we have several. Fort Loudon, Watts Bar, Championship at Cherokee on May 27th, 28th for the Next Generation Tournaments. And I'd also like to recognize we have a lot of sponsors. As I mentioned earlier, we have 21 different sponsors. And I'd like to go through that list just real quickly.
All right.
VEC, Toho, Donald Duardo's Mexican Restaurant, Tennessee Pool and Spa, Jerry Duncan Ford, David Bentley is our sponsor, Raymond Holmes from Roan Dental, Moore Storage, Cisco Dentistry, J. Patrick Henry, attorney at law, Dr. Sylvia Mende, Roan Marine Power Sports, JTC Trucking, J. Lenz, Wendy Garrett is our sponsor, Mims Custom Rods, G&G Gun Shop, Richardson's Drywall, American Systems Waterfowl, Sweetwater Family Medicine, DNR Towing, Vanover Construction, and Tattoos by Brian. We're very fortunate to have 21 sponsors for our club.
Man, you guys, you really are. That's the most I've heard of. That's wonderful.
Yes,
and,
it is.
You got good support. We're running close to time, and I want to take a minute and thank you guys for coming up here. It's been a pleasure having you, and the door is always open. If you'll just give me a few days' notice that you'd like to be back on the show, if you got the state record bass or whatever it might be, bring some more of your teammates by and let us know about the tournaments. Keep us up to date. You got my email address. I'm on Facebook, and you've got my phone number. So I can't hide from you. And I really don't want to. But do keep up, and I want to thank you all for being here with me tonight.
Well, thank you for the exposure for the club and for the young men. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, Randy.
It's been a great opportunity.
Randy's a school teacher in the middle school and
elementary school.
Elementary school. Okay, all right. Well, he got off easy. But it's great to have those folks here, and I want to thank all my sponsors, and they've been on the bottom of the screen, but that's never enough for them. Edgemore Outdoors, Citizens First Bank, Corner Lot Trading down in Rockwood. Jerry has still got a bunch of stuff he wants to get rid of to get rid of his inventory of the mulch and the stone and this, that, and the other. So don't forget that. Also, the fudge store there in Oliver Springs, Pamela Ann's Fudge and Candies and Gifts. You can't miss that. In the Roan Street Grill, right quick. Speaking of Roan Street Grill, the East Tennessee Bass Association, and I'll tell you guys about that right here shortly, even if we run out of time, will be there Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, at the Roan Street Grill. That's the East Tennessee Sportsman's Association. Their monthly meeting will be this coming Tuesday night, and you can't get a better place to eat, folks. I guarantee it. And so just come on to the meeting and get you something to eat before the meeting or while they're having the meeting. Either way, whatever suits you. But do attend that. How much time we got? 1 minute. Again, I want to thank the Bass Club and for being here with me. And God bless you. Y'all have a safe week.
Country Fresh Foods. You may not know the name, but you definitely know the taste. Our homemade fudge is shipped all over the country. Its quality is unmatched, and it's made right here in Oliver Springs. But you don't have to travel all over to enjoy it. You can get it right here at our retail store, Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts. The highest quality fudge in a countless variety of flavors. And we also carry a variety of candy and unique gifts for you to enjoy. Come enjoy the taste you have loved for years at Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts in Oliver Springs, a division of Country Fresh Foods.
Drownings are a leading cause of death for young children. Simple safety steps are the best way to prevent these tragedies. Make sure kids learn how to swim. Always watch them in and around water. Properly fence all pools and stay away from drains. Consider the steps you take, then add a few more. Because you never know which pool safety step will save a life until it does. Simple steps save lives. To learn some new ones, visit poolsafely.gov.
Rodney and Kay Harback invite everyone to come on over to Roan Street Grill to experience a pleasant dining experience with them. Rodney knows how important it is to get